Next country I want to take you to is Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Shanghai, China, South Africa. Who is ready to travel the world with me? How would you like to feel like a stronger community builder? How would you like to tap into a deeper level of resilience and motivation? How would you like to have a new tool belt of simple, actionable strategies you can use starting today to build better relationships with anyone, anywhere?
Shane Feldman is best known as the founder of the Count Me In movement. And listen to this, it's an incubator and a movement of 10 million next generation leaders. He's been featured by Larry King, he's been featured by Forbes and Oprah Winfrey. He's been recognized by the White House and the United Nations. He's literally traveled the world, like Wade shared, researching the most innovative example of community. Get on your feet and help me welcome to the stage, Shane Feldman!
I have traveled the world researching community leadership and human behavior. I've been on the ground in more than 30 countries across 5 continents, researching, talking to some of the most fascinating, some of the most remarkable people and learning from them. And what I call it is not just, the passport I have in my wallet right now. I call it my leadership passport. I have hand-selected 3 stories from 3 countries that I know will speak directly to so many of the challenges and opportunities that you are facing today and in the months ahead. The moment that I took that stranger's hand, the moment I said yes to celebrating with the group, it instantly became what I call a +1 experience. And life is meant to be a +1 experience. It amplifies everything. It multiplies our sense of memory. It amplifies our feeling in the moment. Do you get what I mean by a +1 experience? The difference between watching an Oscar-worthy film on Netflix alone at home versus lining up at the theater for the midnight premiere, maybe even dressed in costumes. Or, this is my favorite, the difference between listening to your favorite album on Spotify in the best Bose noise-canceling headphones in your room versus being in the arena listening to that artist perform live. Now, let's be honest, we don't go to the arena for the sound quality, right? The Bose headphones are probably better. But we don't go for that. We go for this sense of connection to other fans, being in that environment. Some people call it euphoric or magical. It's actually hard to describe. It's a +1 experience. We are social animals. We are built to connect with others and be in those sorts of environments. What I learned in my research in Vietnam is that they actually value collectivism as a country. This is a thoughtful, intentional piece of their culture. They actually see individuals as secondary to groups. What that means is if that woman in that red dress didn't notice me, didn't welcome me to join her group, chances are it would have been less than a minute for someone else in that massive square to notice me and invite me to join them just as quickly. And what was most interesting about my time in Vietnam is that experience wasn't an isolated one. It was hard to see in the video before, but even in that massive square filled with thousands of people, there were no circles. You know how we end up at conferences like this? We're catching up with people, and often we end up in these tight circles in America and much of the westernized world. We have these tight circles that we form. In Vietnam, there were always these half circles. There was always a gap more than big enough to fill at least one new person. It was their way of saying a circle's never complete. A group always has room for someone else to join. What would it look like at our conferences if our circles were never closed? If someone always felt like they were welcome? If we were always looking out for that invisible staff member who's looking for a deeper sense of belonging? The next country I want to take you to is actually Shanghai, China. I still remember I was in Shuning Market. If you haven't been before, just picture this tiny cobblestone path and this kind of wave of neon lights across both sides of the path and all these crawfish shops left, right, and center. I'm walking through this market and I start to hear what sounds like this outdoor concert up ahead. And I see at the entrance to this public park, gathered around the speaker, are about 100 people, and they are all dancing. This isn't a unique scene in China. Approximately 100 million Guangchangwu is what they're called, gather in parks and squares just like this one every day, and they dance together. When I left South Africa, I felt like a fraud. I redefined leadership. I redefined leadership as 10 seconds of sawubona, 10 seconds of I see you, People need connection. We all want to feel seen and heard and valued. We can't feel those things unless we're actively connecting with one another. And by the way, that doesn't go away when we're working online. It amplifies, it multiplies. Every interaction is an opportunity. And the choice is ours whether we take hold of that opportunity or not. What it took me literally traveling the globe to realize is what I hope you're able to understand in 10 seconds here today. It took me searching all over to realize that community isn't something you find. Community is something that we all have the opportunity to create, to co-create together. It's the power of this room. It's the power we have when we go back. It's the power we hold within us every single day to be community builders. Sawubona, I see you. I thank you so much for spending some time with me this morning. Thank you.